Hey guys, let's do this quickly. Hi. Okay, so I just want to quickly let everybody know that we're doing this thing. I need the link. Oh, this is all nebulous. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that, pop that into a G.I. Joe book page. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna quickly G.I. Joe book. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, so let's see. Hold on, this is strange. Yeah, good. Everything should be good. Yeah, cool. Okay, guys. So I'm not sure if I'm 100% live. So bear with me. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do some warm-ups and whatevers. Just want to get a feel for this. I'm gonna use a fairly chunky pencil right now. I've just got some characters lined up. You're gonna see me sort of warm up a little bit with the drawing thing. Just drawing some arbitrary shapes. Just getting getting my groove thing on, and making sure this is all working correctly. So if you're at home and you're watching this, it's probably because you're awesome. So cool. I'm in South Africa. I'm going to answer these as I see them. I'm just still trying to make sure everything's working here. And so yeah, this is the first time, so please bear with me. I'm just sort of figuring it all out as we go. So I'm just trying to share this so that our Facebook guys can see it as well. I'm gonna click on that, see if I can share this video. Because I'm not used to all of this streaming software stuff. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Anyway, cool. So we started a Patreon, and the Patreon, we've kept it a low benefit Patreon because we're trying to just it's easier for us, because then at least it just helps me, for example, get time to do things like this. And but one of the things I like to do is I like to give art away to people. So what I decided I would do was get a few suggestions from our patrons, or Patreon supporters, who have been very, very, very cool. Thank you guys. And you'll hear me say that a lot. And one of the suggestions I got was for Bullhorn. and so I just want to get this the feel of this character down. I'm going to be playing with different art styles as I do this. Not necessarily what's the word, like sold on any specific art style that I want to do for this yet. I'm still very much exploring it. And oh wow, those arms are big. So this is just, yeah, this is just my roughs. This is just me loosening up a little bit because it gets a bit hectic. Oh, I just realized I might have been quite muffled. You see, this is how good I am at this. I'm just going to move my mic there. I apologize for the clicking and clacking sounds you hear from the tablet. But we should be good. We should be good. Anyway. Hey guys. Yeah. I don't know Wayne Herschel. To answer your question. Maybe Stephen does. You know, Cape Town is kind of a biggish place, believe it or not. But you know, us Joe fans and things like that, you know, we do tend to find each other. Wow, I'm making like a super 90s version of whoever I'm drawing right now. Because look at them arms, them big biceps. Okay, so I'm just gonna loosen that up a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So, if any of you guys are into drawing, I'm sure you can see what I'm doing. I'm just doing a bit of a layout sketch. And let's see how this all goes. I'm gonna try to reply to chats when I can. But yeah, I'm just gonna draw and just keep it simple as much as I can, because I know that once I get my brain in here, it's gonna be all over for me typing. It's gonna be easier for me to reply vocally. So the first character we got here, maybe I shouldn't say. Maybe I should let it be a surprise and let you guys guess who it is as I'm going through it. I know I did maybe mention who it was before, so if I did that, I've completely destroyed my own surprise. So let's see, how would this dude do this? Okay, so just getting the basic layout. So this is actually something that will be offered to our patrons, these live stream sessions. This is very much a test, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do more of these in the future as we as I go forward. But this is something special I like to do for the patrons, because it's always nice when somebody asks you to draw something specifically or in particular for you know, for them, and this is a cool, like, sort of way of having that session. So maybe if you guys are keen on this, what you will be able to do is in future live streams, I would like to have it that you come and sit with us and maybe talk. I would also love to do this while we're doing a podcast. So because sometimes in the podcasts I get a bit antsy, and I just want to draw while we're all talking about GI Joes and all that cool things. And yeah, I just want to, like, hold on, let me get this hairline right. And yeah, one of my favorite things to do is actually sit up drawing stuff, like drawing tablets or a sketchbook at a coffee shop and chill out. And often when I do that, I often get a lot of people coming to talk to me. And yeah, or I just hang out with a few art friends. But this hasn't happened in a while, but I get to hang out with a few art friends, and don't like how that eye's going. And we get to yeah, talk a whole bunch of crap while we all draw. So let's see if I can get this guy looking right. This is all very rough at the moment. I want to get this nose right, because this character, if I'm not mistaken, is Native American, or is of Native American descent. So no, it's not airborne. If anybody's wondering. Yeah. So yeah. Testes chicken fried steak. Yeah, funny guy, funny guy. Okay. Hey Douglas. I'm sort of checking this out as this goes. So you guys are gonna know exactly who this is as soon as I probably do this on him. just want to just make sure I'm getting that looking right, because I'm using the toy as reference here. Okay, it's I'm a big fan of using the toys as a reference, because it's a sculpt, and I want to have like an artistic representation of the sculpt, not an artistic representation of another artistic interpretation. AKA, I don't want to draw based on the box art. I want to try and get the figurine down. And so, yeah, so we got that going. Cool, let's get some of that neck camo that he's got going here. This is actually kind of, if I look at the toy, look at the sculpt, you know, I know he's not toted as much, but they gave him kind of a beefy sculpt, and he's very much from the 90s, this dude, and was never a toy I actually owned, but was a toy I had a lot of time with, because my buddy had him, and he was always so precious about one of the accessories. He was so scared I was gonna lose one of the accessories or break something, because, you know, he was a very responsible toy collector or toy owner. I couldn't say that we were really toy collectors yet back then. We were toy naggers. We would nag our parents for toys and have them and play with them in the backyard. Any guesses? Ah, no. Freedom. Hey, Kunji Club. I hope I got your name right there. So how is everybody? Like, sound off in the tweet, in the chat bar. Like, what's happening at? I'm guessing it's midnight on Friday the 13th in the good old US of A. I hope that all of you had great Friday the 13th parties, or as I like to do, I love to watch a horror movie on Friday the 13th. It is a long-running and long-standing Paul tradition to do so. And I know it doesn't make me terribly unique, because I'm sure a lot of people do that as well. Because it's kind of like the best time to do stuff like that. I'm just checking out this dude's belt detail. This is a very... I'm just going to make this up as I go here. I kind of like this horizontal pattern here. I'm going to imagine it's some kind of rigging for him. If you hear my dogs bark, it is Saturday morning here in South Africa, and dogs are gonna bark, man. They are gonna bark. This is actually as far as I'm gonna take this dude. I'm not gonna go like a full body shot. I just want a nice sort of bust as I'm sort of practicing these, and this may very well be the lay-in sketch for when I do the final drawing. Now, this is something that I always find a little bit interesting about the toy, and where the artwork can differ here on the elbows. I think you guys can see my cursor. In this case, I actually want to do something a bit interesting here. I want to give him a bit of a lip here. This is not in the toy, but it technically is because it's in the joint. And I have that going on there, so it's kind of like one of these kind of pouch things. And yeah, I'm hiding his accessories on purpose because I haven't really posed this dude, and so it's going to be pointless to draw his accessories in right now. But he has got some pretty neat gloves. So yeah. So who can tell me where he is? No large gatherings, moment. Don't want to be spreading the coronas around. Okay. Yeah, the coronavirus. It's a good reason to stay at home and play with your Joes. Okay, don't want to be getting out there and getting sick and whatever. But guys, let's not succumb to the panic. Okay, let's keep our heads together. You know, it's not a flu. It's not a disease that's turning us into rampaging zombies. Okay, so I'm just gonna darken his hair. I'm literally just doing a nice rough messy sketch. The next character I do will be pretty simple to guess. It's somebody I like drawing as well. So Any guesses who I'm doing yet? Anybody? Let me get this. That's too dark. Get that in there. It's not Dutch, although I've just realized he's got a bit of a "come on, get to the chopper" kind of vibe to him, which is totally unintended. It's the time. How are we doing? Okay, good. We're 16 minutes in. So, no. This is not the face of Firefly. That's interesting, actually. I am surprised that. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Firefly had such soft, boyish good looks. um, because he is a ninja. I mean, let's not forget, he is a ninja, and they do have some good healthcare benefits, I suppose, and skin products. And he's always wearing that mask, so maybe he's not aging as much as the rest of us, because his face is always protected from the sun and from whatever harsh and hazardous chemicals he may or may not be working on. Set that to multiply, and I want to actually make this camo a little bit softer so it comes across that way. I'm not going to do a full tonal here. I'm just really sketching in the bigger picture. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because it makes sense too. I'm going to get into these eyes a little bit. No, it's not Storm Shadow. Yeah, I actually don't blame you guys for thinking it's Tunnel Rat. I actually was drawing this and going, this is probably gonna get a lot of Tunnel Rat people. The reason I actually made this a bit of a mystery is because the actual toy itself, this is a bit of a hint for you guys. The actual toy itself, most of us, especially if we're a little bit kind of nervous about losing accessories, like I was when I was a kid, we probably tended to keep his headgear on. And I will draw. You nailed it. Congratulations. It's a prize of no prize. But as always, thank you for joining. Thank you for being on the stream, man. It's cool to see you again. Road Pig. No, I can guarantee if I was gonna do Road Pig, I would do him kind of bigger, so I'd kind of be a bit more give him this massive chin like that, and then have his hair really angled. Okay, this is the cartoon version of him. I'd do him. I'd do Road Pig that kind of thing. I'd give him this big Now I'm drawing gung ho, it seems, but anyway, that kind of would be my approach. Okay, so the next one, I'm gonna leave this as it is for now. So you guys all right? It's Bullhorn. And so, oh shit, oh yeah, no, I meant to do that. Sorry for the clackety clacks of my keys. I'm sure you're hearing them. Okay, it's kind of a youngish Bullhorn. I think I'm gonna definitely need to bring him up a bit. Okay, so the next one, I'm gonna play with this a little bit and see if I can get see if I can have a bit of fun with this one. Give him a bit of a long face. It's my profession, Kunji Club. Thanks for asking, and thanks for saying so. It's my profession. I am an illustrator by trade. I do work on things like video games. I'm currently working on a video game project at the moment. Nothing that you guys would know about yet, and it's nothing I'm allowed to really talk about either. Sorry. But Moosebox. It's a video game inspired animated series that has to do with a guy called Moosebox and his friend Catbox, and they live in a video game world, and it's full of video game Easter eggs. That color is terrible. it's full of video game Easter eggs, and it's a lot of fun. And it'll definitely speak to some of the older crowd like us, because it has a lot of Easter eggs in it. I mean, I personally snuck in a Nintendo console into the background artwork, without it being too much like an actual Nintendo console, so don't get into trouble. Um, and I also snuck in a Mega Drive or a Genesis, as most of my American viewers will know. That's too much of a hint of who this is going to be. So let's give him a look. And so yeah, so that's some of the stuff I've worked on. I've got a game about the South Pole coming out that I worked on the 19th of March. It's coming to Steam. It's called Terra Incognita, and it's about the it's a get to the South Pole simulator that nose is way too big. See, this is me drawing under pressure here with all of you guys watching. Oh, I don't like that nose. This is, I'm just gonna draw it as far as I can, but I really don't like where this is going right now. No, actually, this is getting scrapped. This is terrible. Not happening. Wow. Okay, so let's just do myself a favor here and just loosen up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. So this character is the other thing is that I really like this character because of the Sunbow series, and so he is always sort of one of those that I like to get right. If you guys want, I might draw a Storm Shadow. But I'll see. Thanks Tetsuo, and thanks Kunji Club. I think I've only got, I wasn't expecting 50 million views here, so that's cool. I'm glad that we're a nice bunch of dudes. And okay, so that's just where it's going from now. Oh. This is a terrible lane. But we'll see. We're gonna save this one. The cool thing is this character's got a beard, and for any of you guys out there who enjoy drawing a character with a beard can be quite forgiving, because you can get away with the character's beard sort of overpowering a lot of the, or injecting a lot of the personality into the actual shot, into the actual dude. And then you don't have to worry too much about other features. Well, not always the case. I know that when I do practice, when I draw myself, when I do selfies, when artists do selfies, we go full blown. We don't waste time with cameras. We take photos. And well, those eyebrows. And I find when I have a beard, it's so much easier to draw myself. So if there are any artists here or hobby artists here, yeah. Oh, hey Ronald, how are you, man? You're all right. It is going to be a shipwreck. Just want to get that hat in there, right? I don't think that's the best version of that hat I can do. Just gonna lighten that a bit. Oopsie. Get in here. See, our patrons, one of them requested well, he said his favorite character is Shipwreck. So I was like, well, one of my favorite characters is Shipwreck. And that's why I'm practicing this. So I thought, no, that would be a good time to get that in for when I do the private live streams. So I'm just really, really in here. Got to give him like a bit of a... I don't want him to have the same kind of eyes as before. There we go. He's starting... I'm starting to feel this character now. He's starting to come through. There we go. Let's get that nose over the beard there a little bit. what is everybody's take on Shipwreck? I know some people really hate him. They're like, why do we have Shipwreck? You know, what's the point of having this character in G.I. Joe? I would love to one day, if I ever get the opportunity to meet Larry Hama again, I'd like to ask him if the guy he based Shipwreck on was actually a friend of his or just somebody he knew. Because I'd imagine there are some pretty good stories behind somebody who you base this character on. I mean, he's got, you know, his military speciality is, well, you know, living on the shipyards. I mean, he wasn't even properly drafted. So, always curious. Let's see. Avast me hearties, yar. Clutch would have been close. Although I must be honest, for Clutch, I would have tried something a little bit different. I would have actually tried to make Clutch a bit more good looking, if that makes sense. I always feel when I draw a Shipwreck, it either goes one of two ways. I either draw him up to be very cartoon looking, or I draw him up to be very reminiscent of, and forgive me here because I cannot remember the name of this character, but we've all seen Jaws, right? And so it kind of reminds me of that. Oh wow, this sailor's hat is not looking cool. This is terrible. Hold on, but this is the magic of Photoshop. Okay, I really am a real artist, so you know, there we go. That's much better. Looking less like. Yeah, I really gotta drop that cap. Actually, let's do this. Let's make that bigger, a little bit bigger. Now it's looking a little bit Russian, but I will fix it. Okay, cool. So, and I'm just glad that I'm not teaching Kung Fu this morning, so that I could actually do this, because it's been a hectic week, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a hectic week. I'm glad I can actually finally come in and chill with you dudes. Toys that made us with yeah, I agree, Kunji Club. That was a great episode. That whole Toys That Made Us TV series is great in general. I really love it. I learned a lot. I don't want to like cause controversy now. But there are a few things that they spoke about regarding the He-Man thing, that all Masters of the Universe, for example. I'm not a big Masters of the Universe aficionado or anything, but there is information in there that I think is a little bit controversial regarding the whole Conan origin of the toy. But then again, you know, there's so much rumors in Toyland, and you know, the 80s, as we all know, were a pre-internet we were a pre-internet society in the 80s, and so information was scarce. This Shipwreck actually turned out being pretty awesome. Wow. I'm just gonna zoom out on that. I just want to kill my yeah, there we go. So I'm just gonna get in there and make him a little bit. I just want to tighten up a few things because I'm not liking where some of the features are sitting. Make that a little bit bigger. Bring that in. What's that? Do you have a preference between drawing on paper or digitally? Ronald, to answer your question, I like both actually. I find with paper, what I love about paper is I tend to think more before I draw. So like with the Shipwreck, I would have maybe taken it a little bit slower on paper. But I think what I like about digital is right now I'm really preferring digital, because usually I was mentioning earlier than like say a big sketchbook. But what's cool about that is that I can still draw on it as if I was drawing in a big sketchbook. Whereas, you know, it's kind of awkward to walk around the shopping mall with this massive sketchbook under your arm. I know, because I did it for years. And it makes simple tasks like popping into the toy shop a little bit harder. And also, people kind of give you funny looks. Not that really bugs me. But I really do enjoy drawing digitally at the moment. I think it's just because I don't have to carry around like watercolor paints or Copic markers it saves me a lot of money drawing digitally, which is what I like. But what I have been doing lately is I've been painting miniatures from like things like Warhammer and stuff. And that's been great. That's been like really cool for my sort of traditional side of things. That's been helping me get my real paint artistry out of there. So like yeah, so that's helped a lot. So I just want to just package this shipwreck sketch. Ooh, who's next? Shipwreck. Okay, so I'm just gonna move him to the side. So we got a shipwreck now. Make him, oh, oopsie, make him a bit bigger. And I've got Bullhorn from earlier. Hey, Papa Shipwreck is watching you. Oh, Bullhorn's thinking of Shipwreck. He's like, ah, oh, Shipwreck, what a cool guy. Okay, what's the next one we're gonna draw? Should we get some pajama action here? Should we do some ninjas? Let's get some ninjas in here. Let's get a ninja in here. Thanks, Tetsuo. What I will do is a little bit later in the stream, I will leave both pictures up. Okay, so I'm gonna approach this one a little bit differently. I'm actually gonna do this, which is like a drawing exercise I like doing. So, as you can hear, my dogs are going crazy for no reason whatsoever. Let's try this view. Let's give him a I don't need weapons, my body is a weapon kind of vibe there. So he's a bit more aloof. And also, like, you get to see one of my weaknesses in drawing a bird view, looking up. A bird view, I mean a low angle looking up view. So I'm just gonna sort of construct this a bit and see what I can get there. Oof, get some landmarks in there. No, that's not happening. Shipwreck is watching you. That's right. Shipwreck is not the kind to do work. And draw some. Okay, so I'm gonna do something a little bit crazy with this character in particular. That's why I'm actually going quite hectic with the muscles there. I'm gonna bring it out there. How many of you guys are gonna get those 6-inch Joes? How many of you guys are excited about it? And we would like to obviously review all of them, but I want to do like something a little bit differently with them when they come out. And at the moment, for those of you that follow the podcast, you'll know that I'm not keen on getting Roadblock because I don't like the gear that comes with Roadblock. You know, gear is a big thing that affects my purchase when it comes to these things, and so yeah, I'm gonna avoid that. I think Scarlet looks too damn friendly, personally. Snake Eyes is definitely happening. And I really like the Duke, especially for not being like the biggest Duke fan in the world. But I'm probably going to grab myself that Duke. Who are you guys looking at getting? I'm getting them. Cool. Hey, what's up, Top Bounty Hunter? Yeah, they look pretty cool. So guys, this is gonna be interesting. I'm going to do something very different with this character. So instead of doing the normal sort of ninja that we are used to, I'm going to tweak him a little bit, just because it's fun, and I want to see what I can do with him and give him a few like cybernetic tweaks. So, and I'm gonna get that Arashi Kage symbol in here somewhere as well. So. Okay, so this eye shouldn't be as. There we go. Yeah, Ronald, I actually fully hear you on that, man. I think, like I said on the podcast, I'm lucky in that I have the podcast to sort of protect my my interest there. I don't know if that episode's been aired yet, but the main thing is like I'm also not going to be collecting them. Although I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick up one or two as I see them, because the sculpting is cool, and I love GI Joe, and I fully believe in voting with your money. And so if they do something cool, I will get it. If they do something that's not cool, I won't get it. And I hope that Hasbro then takes a hint from that and realizes that, you know, maybe they have to now supplement that line with the 6-inch figure line. Of all the new GI Joe stuff that's been announced, the one thing that I'll definitely be buying without a doubt is those Hot Wheels style vehicles that they're doing. You know, Paulie needs himself a Night Raven, and so yeah, I want a Hot Wheels styled Night Raven. How can I do this? Oh yeah, I want to give him like a full Kabuto front piece here. I want it to be kind of samurai-esque. Let's come into here. So yeah, this is old Storm of Shadow, but maybe you know, with all of these epic battles with Snake Eyes, at some point we could flip the script a bit. Instead of Snake Eyes dying, Storm of Shadow can die at the hands of Snake Eyes, and then gets rebuilt and reassembled by Mindbender, and is now like sort of a ninja. Yes, I know this is a very like Devil's Due kind of idea, but I just wanted to have fun with this character and see what we could do. Or the Arashi Kage has become like, it's been this like, it's got a lot of money now, you know. So maybe they have a cyborg ninja program, like in Mortal Kombat, but like Cyrax and Smoke and Sector and all that. This is always interesting. I don't really want them in that scale, but if they start doing adaptations of the Real American Hero figures like they did with 25th anniversary, I'll probably go for it. If I see them for $5 or something, definitely. Yeah, Tetsuo, definitely, man. I would totally pick up Joe figures for $5. But I suppose we also have to kind of be like smart with that kind of thing, because you know, just waiting for them to get cheaper doesn't... It's not always healthy for us, I think, to just buy them because they're cheap. I mean, I've passed up like plenty Transformers toys that I wanted that were on special. That I went like, oh, you know, this is not a figure I was willing to pay like $50 for, but now that it's like, you know, $20, that's kind of okay. And then like I've made the mistake of like buying these in the past, and then they end up in my toy shelf, and then they end up clogging up all the space. So yeah. So guys, yeah, sorry, I just had to draw this Storm Shadow just to sort of just get it out of my system. I actually want to do a Dreadnought next. I know Dreadnought's not everybody's favorite. I love drawing Dreadnoughts because they have a lot of character. And I think that's something like a lot of people don't understand sometimes with figure design and with making toys. It's got a lot to do with character, and the fact that you don't like characters or that you despise characters shows that they've even well, it's kind of a proof that the character is actually really good in the first place, because it's got enough character for you to dislike the personality of it. Okay, well that's enough for that Storm Shadow. So I might have missed a line there, so I'll just sign that because I like that idea. This might be a t-shirt. I'll see. I'll think about it and go into it. Because that's something I love doing is, you know, if these sketches are cool, I'll turn them into limited run t-shirts so that if you guys are on the live stream, I'll give you guys like a small voucher code and you guys can maybe pick them up. Speaking of voucher codes, our patrons have a voucher code thing. So if you join the Patreon, you definitely get a voucher code. That makes things cheaper, I think. Okay, that's Storm Shadow. Yeah. So, wow. Okay, I think I've got time to fill in one more. Suggestions for a oh, who's my favorite Dreadnought? Ooh, that's actually a very good question. I think my favorite Dreadnought is the first ever Dreadnought I really actually had any contact with as a kid. Was Road Pig, and I love the toy. I think the toy is so cool. He's so ugly. He's so ugly. But as an adult, and I mean, let's be fair. Let's take Zartan out of the Dreadnoughts because let's not have that controversial conversation right now. I dig old. I love Serana actually because Serana is very much a full-on Dreadnought. She's very cool. I'm difficult with this, Tetsuo. It's like, who is my favorite Dreadnought? Wow. Yeah, indeed. Who is my favorite Dreadnought? Well, let's see. I'm gonna draw one now and see what happens. I'm gonna go for a bit more of a cartoon style on this one though. Let's see who I get. I just want to just type this into Google because I want a picture of him. And no, not maps. I don't want maps. What? I want maps. This is probably my favorite Dreadnought to draw. So let's see how he comes out. The hairstyle is gonna give it away, so I'm gonna sort of just do that. Then it could be like any one of these mooks. So let's see. And I am going for a cartoony style here, like a more kind of illustrative style. Once again, it's a bearded character because I'm copying out and I'm feeling a little bit well, shy. It's my first ever drawing live stream. This guy, I'm gonna kind of give him a bit of a Randy Macho Man savage. I'm gonna break the nose a little bit there. Do that. Kind of have him like that, and then give that there. Let's give him some cool cheekbones. Yeah. I'm gonna ZZ top him a little bit, like give him like a really hectic beard. Okay, this happened way quicker than I thought it would. It's gotta be Ripper. You are so 100% right there, my man. You are 100% right. And so like I think like an interesting, and I'm gonna talk to Steve about maybe making this. I know that we use the Dreadnoughts a lot in the Play Motion episodes and the G.I. Joeberg episodes. But lately I've been giving a lot of thought to like Rock and Roll as a character. And you know, he's got that surfer origin. And it would be kind of cool if Rock and Roll so this is a slightly, like, yeah, it's cartoony, but I think I'm going for a bit of an older version of old Ripper here. You know, you can see he's seen some stuff. He's not quite as wild as he used to be. He's still wild. Maybe I'll give him like a tattoo or something on him just now. I'll see. And he's always wearing like a chain, this dude. Anyway, I think it would be really interesting to explore a beef between Rock and Roll, and one of these dudes, one of the Dreadnoughts, because the Dreadnoughts terrorized Broker Beach, right? And Rock and Roll is a surfer, and you know, surfers are kind of territorial, in a cool way, because there are reasons that they're territorial. But maybe the big bad dreadnoks are trying to sell some big bad drugs, like some meth and stuff on his beach, and he's like, he won't have any of that, so we need to do a cool episode on that. That could be interesting, just to get us away from the overarching hectic plots that we tend to have. What have we got here? Ripper is like, what is that? Ripper is like Punk Santa. Yeah, man, he is like Punk Santa. That's cool, actually. I love that. Punk Santa. Hey, maybe I'll tell Bart that Ripper is Punk Santa, because, you know, Bart, like, famously also doesn't love the Dreadnoks. But if I tell him it's Punk Santa, he may do a custom. And so, wow. So much for making him old, Paul. I mean, you've given him this full-out beard. It's looking great. So that's something to answer a question about digital versus traditional. I'm kind of using my digital tool here as a pencil and as a marker, and I suppose that's kind of one of the things that makes digital great, is that it says pencil on the box, but it can be a marker as well. You can even use it as a paintbrush. It's really, yeah, it's a thing. These are too symmetrical. I don't like that. I want this a bit out there. It's a little bit unkempt. Like, we all have hair. It never does what we want it to do. And if we don't have hair, well, then you're getting points for being cool and bald. Because being bald is a statement. Just love your take on the... Yeah, right? There is... Thanks, man. Thanks, Ronald. Yeah, like, he's seen some stuff, you know. I just recently showed my girlfriend the Ballad of G.I. Joe that Funny or Die did. And I love the sort of sad nature behind that whole thing. It's so bittersweet, you know. And yeah, like, it makes you wonder what do the Joes and Cobras do when they're not fighting. You know? Well, I know what rock and roll's doing. He's protecting the beach from the Dreadnoks on his surfing days. See, that would be a great Sunbow series. I actually think I think Hasbro, and I actually think I should try and pitch this. I think we should do like a grown-up version of the Sunbow show, like a Sunbow show, for example, but with just, you know, it doesn't have to have like swearing and stuff in it and major like mega violence. Just, you know, kind of do it, but have like a continuity to it that's like more serious. So I'm just giving him this big ass chain. I know he has like grenades and all kinds of fun things. Gotta say, I love this guy's dress style. If I was cooler like him, I would also wear stuff like that. So, yeah, like on HBO with nudity. Ronald, it's an ongoing struggle. To answer your question, how challenging was it for you to master the hand coordination for digital drawing? So, I've been drawing since I've loved drawing my whole life. So I've been drawing since I was 8. I would say sooner than that, but I think more realistically, 8 years old was when I was like seeing characters like Sonic the Hedgehog and taking my G.I. Joe card art and all those kind of things and trying to draw those things. So I'd say that was like when drawing like became serious. So it takes a long time, but I'll say this as an adult, okay, and you know, there's so much talk and so much stuff in the media about how our brains sort of get wired. You know, we get wired and then we can't learn new skills and things like that. And I'm very much against that kind of thinking. I believe that if you don't do anything with your body, that you do ultimately doom it to to becoming lazy and inept, you know. So you do sort of train things out of yourself. But if you like, say for example now, Ronald, like if you wanted to pick up drawing, I mean, I know that you draw as well. But if like, my opinion is, if like, if somebody came up to me like now, like a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old, and said, hey, could you teach me how to draw? And they actually did all the homework and the assignments I gave them to do, and they did proper warm-ups every day, I firmly believe that. Even shorter, depending on how passionate you are and how driven you are about getting it done in your system. For me, I often spend like hours. I mean, with my students, I give my drawing students stuff like this. So I will, you see, like what I'm doing here, I'll make them literally do this with a paintbrush, or I'll make them do this on Photoshop, where they're controlling the pressure. And then I'll also make them do things like do a line, do a line, do a line, you know. So I'd give them exercises like this. And that helps a lot, especially if you're drawing digitally, because digital is slightly laggier in some regards to real drawing. That's actually something that sometimes happens to me with real drawing. I mean, with traditional drawing, real drawing, stop calling it that, Paul. Is sometimes I'm like, oh wow, this pen's really working. Another good exercise you can do is, what's the other one, like, oh, drawing an ellipse. So drawing ellipses, this helps you a lot. Drawing things like that helps you a lot. And doing them in a single stroke. So your first ones will like be like that and like this, and oh, that's actually not a bad one. That one's not the best. But yeah, your first ones will sort of be like kind of shitty, and they'll be like that. That's too sharp. But just, yeah, if I gave somebody drawing exercise and said, listen, please do this every day for an hour, just to relax, and then after that, you know, do some line exercises for like 10-15 minutes, and then do some drawing. Yeah, I think you could get pretty good. Yeah, G.I. Joe, an HBO original series, now with boobies. Yeah, you know, they get the guys who did the Game of Thrones opening to do the music, so it'll be like dun dun oh dun 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 land and sea and yeah, it'll be funny. But it would be cool if we could get like just a more serious version of the Sunbow tune. I think a very good reference, or a very cool thing to look at for what I mean is the Castlevania series. That was very well done. And I love that Castlevania isn't like over the top. Because I'm sure you guys remember that HBO Spawn series, which was cool, but my word, it's over the top. It's like so ridiculously over the top. It's part of its charm. I get it. I grant you that. But it's just, ugh. But the Castlevania series is great. I don't like that shit. See, that's what I like about digital. I can be like, I don't like that. Delete it. So guys, we're getting into 4 minutes left. So I'm gonna just quickly pop all of these sketches together. Whoopsie. Get my tones and that behind the drawing. There we go. That still seems wrong. I think that goes there. Whoopsie. No, it's that, and then those. Yeah, I'm gonna actually make those a bit softer. And even this a bit softer, to be honest. Yeah, so that's us for today. But let me put all of these drawings together. I'm just gonna quickly duplicate all of these layers. Switch them all on. Let's do that so you guys can see everything. So we got Ripper. I'll put Ripper over there. We got Shipwreck. I'll put Shipwreck over there. Bullhorn, I'm just going to make it a tiny bit smaller. And put him over there. And I got Storm Shadow, which I'll make a bit smaller. So that was, and today, let's call it Friday the 13th and Saturday the 14th. So the 13th plus 14th of March 2020, yo. Apparently the year where the wheels fall off. But let's see. Maybe this is a good thing. Guys, yes, yeah, it'll show a map of Cobra Island and then the Joe base, and then yeah, that'd be great. They can make it to a team for China and Russia. That would be cool. So yeah, guys, thank you so much to all of you that popped in today. I think that was really cool. I know that this was very impromptu. I actually tried to send off a link on Facebook, but the link didn't work. So that was kind of a bummer. So yeah, so for all of you that yeah. Oh, thank you, Ronald. Appreciate it, man. It's always nice to have a different way to interact with our fans. And actually not fans. You guys are supporters. There's a big difference between a fan and a supporter. Supporters help us make this stuff happen. Fans just like what we do. So you guys are supporters, and it's really, you guys are very valuable and very appreciated. And now I'm actually going to, after this, I'm going to go and shoot some video footage for a video that I should have out on Wednesday, because one of our cool supporters sent me a box full of Joes. So I'm dying to get them in front of camera. Otherwise, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm sure most of you are going to be sleeping now, or watching, or binge watching Netflix or whatever, playing video games, playing with toys, going over your collections. Either which way, be safe, be cool, stay indoors, don't let madness take over, and till next time, yo Joe. Berg.